Darrell, we're here in your beautiful backyard. I love what you've done here, but first of all, I want to know, how did you get into landscaping?
Well, really, I started off, I guess, in the late 70s, around building sites in Auckland. I ended up doing all the stuff that the other chippies didn't want to do. I kind of really enjoyed the groundworks, seeing the whole picture of how all the ground formed up after the house was built.
Right.
So I've come from construction background.
From the foundation.
Foundation up, and it's such a cool thing because fortunately I've had a lot of experience with this, and that's where it came from. The foundations are the most important building block, right?
Of course.
Whether it's steel, concrete, or base course materials that you're building and compacting everything off, or foundations for holding up a deck.
And of course you need that for compliance as well when you're renovating an outdoor area. Is that the right term, renovating an outdoor area?
Yeah, absolutely. Renovating, making over, whatever. You need it for compliance, and you also need it for longevity.
Gotcha.
All right, spend your money once, make it last a long time.
Oh, I love that. So how has your career transformed? Because of course in the time that you've been a landscape gardener, everything's changed, right?
Sure. In the early days, I guess, Monique, it was just that, a landscape gardener, right? It was gardens, lots of roses in those days.
Of course.
If you're really flash, you'd have a mowing strip. And if you're even flashier again, you'd have a McCullum chip driveway, right?
Sounds fancy.
And sown lawns. And that was it. That's what it was in the early days. And then it's morphed in to all these other things that we have today, like things I've got in this garden here, like palms. There weren't any palms. People had to grow palms from seeds when palms became popular. You know, there was no rollout lawns, there were no synthetic lawns, there were no outdoor products as such. It all kind of organically grew, I suppose you could say, as the industry grew and we followed trends overseas.
Gotcha. Now, one of the things that I've noticed is that, you know, the property market has increased. There's more people trying to buy their own home, whether it's a first home or get their second property, grow their portfolio. But space is a real problem nationwide. What are some of the key things that you think are most important when you're wanting to transform your outdoor area?
If you're a Mr. and Mrs. homeowner, you need to consider how you want to use your space, because that's the most important thing, right? This garden that we're standing in now has morphed about 3 times. It was a kid's garden with a lawn and kids running around with Harry Potter broomsticks and a pet rabbit. And we even had a little whare over in the corner as a sand pit with a green grass lawn. It's changed now. This garden, for example, now is an entertainment garden. It's my garden, it's my home. I've got several entertainment areas, and it's for the children, kids, teenagers, young adults, young men, and myself. So the number one thing really is to consider how you want to use it.
I know a lot of people are wanting to do their own garden transformation or outdoor transformation. Why do you think it's important to work with a professional?
Yeah. Look, the values are endless. In the old days, it used to be a property developer developing a property because there was a profit to be made in it, or the homeowner, usually top end, because they had some magic dream. Now all that's just completely wide open. The palette's wide open. People are encompassing and drawing in all those ideas that they see, and we are putting it into a Kiwi lifestyle package. And that's just,
I love that. I love that. That's brilliant. So talk me through the key elements of your space. So you're on an area which is a relatively small space, as all
spaces
about this space?
Are.
Yes.
This garden?
Yeah, this garden. Small space in the New Zealand, you know, when we think of that lifestyle block.
So many of our gardens around Auckland City are tiny. I guess this here is a really good example of what you can do in a small space. Believe it or not, it was like this, right? So we've got a 3 metre plus retaining wall out there that's all been engineered and constructed in a certain manner. We've got 180 cubic metres of backfill material here. We were lucky the house next door was under construction, so we had the best clay in the world that just came straight in here and blah, blah, blah. And then it's all been squeezed and opened out, right? Even where we're standing right now with all of this as a great little entertainment area, you know.
Beautiful.
Friday night pizzas, fire in winter time, fish smoker, other cooking options. We've pumped it out with lighting. This was a completely unusable space. It had a little baby path and some stupid planting, and I had a goldfish pond over here I made with my eldest son, Ryan. Now it is what it is. And that is what? It's just a vision and creativity and thinking about how you want to use the space.
And what I love is the openness of the space. You've got everything in here. You've got a spa pool, you've got a fire pit, you've got a smoker, you've got a barbecue, you've got an outdoor
kitchen.
We've got a stage. You've got a stage, you've got everything in here, but none of it feels cramped. So when somebody is wanting to create this sort of project with you, I mean, you're starting at that design stage. So how does that happen?
Well, for us these days, and I guess one of the biggest steps forward I made after learning all my trades both here and overseas in Germany and the UK was coming up against or being introduced to CAD drawing.
Right.
Right. Now, in those days, CAD drawing was mostly used for architects and stuff. And what I quickly got out of it, wasn't that quick, there's about 2,000 hours to deliver and learn some of these programs, is that you can block things in and you can end up with 3D perspectives that people don't necessarily understand shapes, sizes and scales. But when you can do that and tip it into a 3D, people can get a completely different understanding of their space.
And it would make that whole process so much easier. So if somebody's telling you, these are my needs, you can see the vision and look at the potential and then actually show them a render of what that's going to look like.
That's exactly correct. And we do that quite quickly. We sit, most of our clients sit down with me at the PC. We go through it, pluses and minuses. Generally, we've got it right. We've got the sizes and the space uses correct. And let's not forget, there's lots of things squeezed into a modern landscape.
Wow, and if it looks good on paper, it's going to look good in reality, and you've done that here. Well done, beautiful garden.
Great.
Love the whole area. So Darrell, if there were 3 key things that homeowners should know when they're embarking on their own outdoor transformation journey, what are those 3 key tips from you?
I guess it's really how they want to use the space. And remembering that the more you wave your arms around, the bigger the bill is, right?
I love it. Hilarious.
Yeah?
Excellent.
So it's easy to talk about a deck, a patio or an outdoor space, but you've got to think of the big picture. It's not just that you're going to furnish it, you're going to live in it, you're going to have an outside table, you might have an umbrella or some shade or something. So there's all those things. I can help build that picture. So I guess the first thing is understanding how you want to use the space. Somewhere along the line, whether it's number 2 and number 3, is it's how much you got in your back pocket that you think you should be spending.
Okay.
Is that 2 or 3 things?
What I really love about this space is that it's beautifully laid out. You've maximised on the space and it's livable. Okay, Darrell, let's take a look around your garden.
Cool. Monique, here's good use of a small space.
Okay. Whoa! That's incredible. What have you got in there?
Well, this was a nothing space, clearly. I've roofed it, decked it out a little bit. It's a garden space that services all the stuff outside. I've got a sink, I've got my crayfish pot, I've got my mussel pot, I've got all my bits and pieces for my barbecue, my smoker. I've got areas to store all the outdoor furniture, coverings, etc. And there's a fridge.
Brilliant. You've got everything. Perfect use of space. Darrell, tell me about this. This is brilliant. An outdoor shower?
Yeah, well, it's almost, to be honest, I've kind of designed and built this more as a piece of garden art than anything else. But it is practical, right? Most mornings I spa and I shower afterwards, right? I've just positioned the plants well so no one can see me because that's about the only viewpoint. They'd need binoculars, but hey, they might be interested.
Well, Darrell, this really is the dream, isn't it? A spa pool in your outdoor area. Most people would think it's not achievable in a smaller space. How did you make this work?
Yeah, well, there you go. Number one, it wasn't easy getting it in here, but it is in here. That's such a cool thing. Honestly, I spend most mornings my day starts here. If I'm lucky, right? If something else isn't going on or it's raining or something, I'm here. You do your meditation, do a bit of exercise, read a book, set your day up. Wow. Spa pools in a garden. We've got a TV up there that we can sit and watch music videos. You can watch informative stuff. You can do your yoga exercises or seriously, right? It's all there. And what's nice about it in this garden is it's all completely private, right?
Love it. Living the dream, Darrell, living the dream.
Yeah, well, yeah. And
Darrell, this is the stage. This is brilliant.
Great for parties.
I bet. Darrell! Wow, this is incredible. What a gem. You're so lucky. But then it's also really well designed, right?
Yeah, it's user-friendly.
Certainly is.
And you know what? The best part is I can go like this at night time and this becomes something else.